A lot of politicians are very entitled in thinking that dapat may parte ako dito dahil ako yung pipirma. Are we really helping the people, or are we just, getting money from it?
We live in a time where it seems like we are willing to pursue win for ourselves, even if it means people around us have to lose.
The reason why we're having a hard time of correcting our values is the media is glorifying excessive consumption.
As in, like, I do not believe in the mindset na ang hirap yumaman sa Pilipinas. I just don't believe in that mindset. Ang daming pera, ang daming resources dito sa Pilipinas.
Let's discuss this statement by Elon Musk about his philosophy and how he do things and how he approaches things.
So you just don't care.
Offer me money. Offer me power. I don't care.
So you just don't care. You want to share what you have to say.
I'll say what I want to say, and if the consequence of that is losing money, so be it.
If somebody's going to try to blackmail me with advertising, blackmail me with money, go fuck yourself. But go fuck yourself. Is that clear? I hope it is. I'm saying what I care about is the reality of goodness, not the perception of it. And what I see all over the place is people who care about looking good while doing evil. Fuck them. Okay? I think it's a real weakness to want to be liked. A real weakness. And I do not have that.
Grabe si parang Elon talaga.
That is a clip, Patrick, no?
Yeah.
What he said, no, that struck me is what I care about is the reality of goodness and not the perception of it. What I see all over the place are people looking good while doing evil. What do you think about that?
Yeah, it's the reality that we have today with bad leadership, right? I mean, why do you want to be a leader in the first place? If your goal is power, fame, and fortune, then obviously that's a big problem for society. Because what's to stop you from using your power and position to just get power, fame, and fortune at the detriment of others? Again, we've said this multiple times. There's nothing wrong with power, fame, fortune, as long as it's not hurting your neighbor. But if it is, then that's definitely a big like ethics issue. And well, bottom line is more people lose than win in a situation like that. Even the people who take power, fame, fortune for the at the expense of others, even they will lose, because while they might get power, fame, fortune, they lose their soul and they lose all sense of true fulfillment and happiness.
Yeah, Elon Musk for me is a great example of a person who exemplifies strong principles and strength. No, kasi well, what I see with that video, sabi niya, it is a real weakness of wanting to be liked. So you will see there that he is just focused on his purpose. You cannot please everyone, hindi ba? No, you cannot please everyone, so you just have to do your work and fulfill your purpose. That is for me is strength. No, we've been talking about strength and honor. No, what I see with Elon Musk is a great example of a very rich man, the richest man in the world, uh, saying basically it is the impact that you need to provide or that you need to do, no, in order to make a dent in the world. So dito nakikita natin kasi ang na-vilify yung mga rich people. Eh. No, rich people, we think of them as consuming a lot of things. And then we see this Elon Musk saying, offer me money, offer me power, I don't care. And he said that what I care about is the reality of goodness, not the perception of it. No, because nakikita, tama ka, Patrick, no, nakikita natin lahat from our politicians, from just our neighbors, from our maybe our friends. No, they want to look good instead of doing good. No, pinagtatakpan nila. There is hypocrisy behind it, and it's real strength and it's a real honor for you to just focus on your character rather than reputation. Because character, like what Elon Musk said, is basically the reality of goodness without anyone looking.
Yeah, and it's also a problem actually that doesn't just exist with the wealthy and powerful. I mean, it's definitely amplified
Yes.
because they're public figures, but even amongst the most common people, that can also be an issue because I mean, you might be, you know, underprivileged, but if you're still using your underprivileged status to get more at the expense of others, then that's still a problem. Like an example I would probably think about is the the PWD fiasco that's happening right now, the PWD ID cards. Um, People are kind of like saying, well, kasi ang mahal na ng gastusin, eh ganito lang naman yung income ko. So of course, I have nothing against PWD
Yeah.
cards in general. If you do need it because you have a legitimate disability and your disability is costing you income and comfort, then that is not the issue. The issue is the people who don't have disability but are going to the offices to get the card under the table kasi ang mahal ng lahat, 'di ba? I mean, normally that's what you would hear na I'm just trying to get by. But to that extent, it's the same thing. It's using your status, it's using your circumstance as an excuse to step on other people's toes. In this case, it's the business owners, it's the real PWD, uh, you know, uh, cases or people, and these people are now under strain and stress because of the people who are using their circumstance and status in the wrong. So sometimes we think that it's just power, but it's not just power, but it's sometimes it's even powerlessness can be used as a form of trying to get ahead, but at the expense of others.
It's an excuse, no? It's fundamentally cheating.
Yes, exactly.
Kasi nga, sabi mo nga, Patrick, you take away uh, the uh, the people who really need that PWD ID kasi talaga nadadaya, no? It's corruption all over again, no, for Filipinos to use a PWD card and other cards without them being actually disabled citizens. So marami tayong nakikita ng ganyan. And then they reason out na parang because the expenses, the goods and services that we have right now, yung grocery bills, and actually not grocery bills, when you eat to restaurants, mahal na, 'di ba? Kasi hindi nagagamit ba? Tama sa
Yeah,
mga,
yeah.
for example, you
Nagagamit.
go to Starbucks, 'di ba?
Yeah, right.
Then you show PWD ID. Tapos makikita mo, hindi naman siya disabled pero meron siyang PWD ID. So it's a source of corruption. Now if you look at the Philippines right now, it's magulo tayo ngayon, Patrick, no? You will see that our leaders are governed by power and money instead of focusing on public service. Ang nangyayari ngayon, parang ang resulta nito ng values natin mula nung pagkabata, no? Nakikita natin ngayon, no? Pag pera na yung pinag-uusapan, wala nang Diyos, wala nang values. You focus on, you know, let's do this so that we can get the money. We can steal money from the taxpayers. Nakikita natin yan sa Congress, no? And we need to call it out because it is our money and it is the budget of the country. They hold the budget of our country and it's being distributed to a few people, yung mga politicians. And this ayuda thing is destroying our country because basically the politicians, the LGUs get it, and then they distribute just a small percentage to the people, and they pocket the a bigger percentage of it for their personal consumption or maybe for the election.
Yeah, I think so it's actually interesting that you brought up the ayuda thing, no. Uh I also think that one of the main issues there kasi it's not probably because I like if if you're honest about it, no, I mean, I don't think any corrupt official or politician will go and say, "Oh, I'm gonna go and steal money today." I mean, no one says that. Oh, I'm gonna be the bad guy today. Normally, it's there's always gonna be some form of justification. I deserve this because, well, if I wasn't around to sign the documents, then this wouldn't happen. So might as well get a little bit of my share. Or uh, another justification would be, well, sira talaga yung sistema. What can you do? I just pump money in. I just sign the documents. And then sila naman yung nagdi-disburse ng pera kahit ano. Kasi like with the DSWD, ano yun,
Yeah.
yung 4 piece, that example, I mean,
Yes.
there is an execution problem because may nakakatanggap na hindi naman talaga kailangan ng ganung support. And then meron ding mga kailangan talaga ng ganung support, hindi naman nakakatanggap. So there's an execution issue. But like at the execution level, again, there's just this form of like justification that, well, the system is broken, but that's not my job. And it goes back to the idea talaga na parang they're really not there to serve, because if they were, they would kind of like question and say, how can we make this system better? What's the best way to be as fair as possible? Of course, I'm not saying it's going to be perfect, but consistently improving the system so that because like I think I was watching a TED talk one time that said that ayuda is essential because there are people in the community that are unable to work, or they are not yet at the so it's a temporary fix, it's a band-aid solution. But what's happening right now in the country is that it's now becoming a permanent source of revenue for those who don't want to work. And so that in itself, like I don't want to get into specifics, but like in my mind, of course I'm not an expert at ayuda and all of this, but parang, di ba, like sometimes you look at the just something as simple as the qualification, getting a certificate that, okay, this person is indeed unable to find a job for the meantime, but they are doing their best. Like, is there a way for them to check, how many jobs they've actually applied for? Are they requiring attendance in job fairs? And then once they start receiving, like a paid salary, there should be a check and balance. Na parang, okay, this person is already getting a salary. They're registered in the labor system. May SSS na, may PhilHealth contributions na pumapasok. Like, again, these are just like ideas strategically, on how you can improve. Yeah, with the ayuda system, I'm not saying, of course, that, it's an easy fix. But is there a desire to fix the system? Diba? On the side of the, because bottom line is, I mean, it's not a, well, you know what, this is just my job, kind of thing. But really, it's about, wait, what's the goal in the first place? Is it really to be of service to your countrymen, or is it just because you just want a pension and you're just waiting until you reach 60 years old until you don't have to work anymore?
Basic lang, Patrick. It's honesty.
Right.
The value of honesty. No, you just need to be honest. Are you deserving of the ayuda? No, kailangan mo ba? And another thing for the politicians distributing it, are we really helping the people, or are we just getting money from it? No, getting the commissions for it. Tama ka, no? A lot of politicians are very entitled in thinking that dapat may parte ako dito dahil ako yung pipirma. Ako ang mayor dito, ako ang barangay captain, ako yung congressman dito. I have the power of signing and approving things. Marami na akong narinig na ganyan eh. Parang what is it in it for me, or something like that, no? Ano bang meron, ano ba yung para sa akin? Lagi ganun ang tanong nila. Kung ako nag-propose nito ng project na to, dapat may commission ako. Pero if you think about it, it is actually their duty to provide public services to the people. Pero ang nangyayari, kailangan mo pang magpasalamat talaga sa kanila kung may gagawin sila. Yung corruptions, it's not an instant thing to be solved. So the very basic thing is really just do your work, provide the good services, tangible benefits and services to the people. And then kung nagkaka-commission ka, because of that, in reality, hindi natin mapipigilan as of now yun eh. Pero dapat may gawin ka. Dapat may maibigay ka sa tao. And in the end, if you have the value of honesty, the virtue of honesty, of you know, strength to resist temptation of money, mas ma-eliminate or ma-reduce natin yung corruption dito.
Right.
Ang problem din, Patrick, is the best people are really the best and the right people are not in the government.
Mm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Ang nangyayari there is a vacuum. So nakita ng mga tiwali, mga kriminal na may vacuum. Ibig sabihin, may bakante. Pasukin natin.
Mm.
If you will look at our government right now, it's like really run by a syndicate. Parang lahat magkakasabwat. No, you cannot pag may pinasok ka ng mga mabuting tao diyan, they will attack you. That's why we were talking about strength and honor. We want honorable people to have power. Hindi lang pwedeng ang tao na may honor mahina or doesn't have the external strength and power to have an impact. We want honorable people to have power. Ang problema natin ngayon, yung mga dishonorable people, part of crimes or criminal syndicates, are the ones who have the power. And then they will really trump against those who have practice the virtue of honesty and honor. Pipigilan nila yan kasi otherwise hindi nila ma-perpetuate or matutuloy yung mga ginagawa nila.
Right. And I think going back to strength and honor, I mean, obviously, like I do agree on a public level. It's not something that can be done. Pero like normally kasi like I hear people say, well, anong magagawa natin kasi ganun talaga. But parang in a sense, like I also start to realize that sometimes and when I say we, even me sometimes, we can fall under the impression na, well, if no one is showing strength and honor at a public service level, then I should not show strength and honor at all. But hindi minsan within our own communities and circles, we can show strength and honor, and it actually creates a ripple effect. Like for example, if you're an employee and then you see everyone in the workplace stealing bond paper or pocketing petty cash, are you gonna do the same or are you gonna stand your ground and try to come into a position of influence so you can also be an agent of justice in that sense? Na parang, well, I remember this one person in a company that I was working with. This person was the HR director of the company. So parang during one of their conversations lang, we were working with them on a different project, completely side note of the conversation. Pero I asked that HR director, what made you get into HR? Do you like hiring people? Do you like to resolve conflict? And the person basically said, well, I enjoy all of those things naman, sabi niya. But the real reason why is because when I started in this company, I saw so many malpractices na nangyayari from the finance side. And it was mostly maraming mga loopholes on the HR side. Yun nga, yung petty cash being pocketed, per dimes na like employees requesting for per dime kahit hindi naman natutuloy yung trip. So, instead of returning the money, they will just keep it for themselves. Nasabi niya, that's the reason why I got into HR because I really want to clean up the company.
Strength and honor nga, the strength to resist. No, I want to ask, if you see like stacks of money in front of you and it's not yours, and it's so easy to get it, diba? Is there a temptation to just get it and keep it? Because we have desires. We have desires to buy things, to be able to travel, or to even use the money to invest. For example, sometimes we see money counting sa banks, 'di ba? Parang stacks of cash there. 'Di ba?
Yeah.
Minsan mapapatingin ka, wow, daming cash, 'di ba?
Yeah, to be honest,
the reason why I'm sige.
Yeah, to be honest for me, no. Because alam mo 'yun, parang
yes, kasi
yeah,
sige,
like
continue.
like I'll give you one instance. No? Like I've never had like an instance where like stack of cash was in front of me. But maybe like at the like seeing a cell phone unattended, parang alam mo 'yun, parang you see a bag na kita mo yun. And like sometimes parang does the thought come up to me na parang, uy, no one's looking. I can just grab this phone. No, I mean like it's not even a fear of
Yeah, yeah.
like consequence na uy baka mahuli ako kasi may find my phone to. It's not even that. It's just like when I look at it, it's like, oh, it's a phone and it's not mine. So, well, and then like I'm like I should tell someone na that's that it's unattended. Pero I don't like have that. I like another example probably would be okay, there's a big deal here that I can close. And then I hear someone gets the deal. And the even the feeling na sana sa amin napunta. It's like no, I just I don't have that kind of like desire, if you want to call it a desire. But I mean, I just know for a fact
Mm-hmm.
that bottom line is I get what's mine, and what's not mine is not meant to be mine.
Yes. The reason why I asked for it, Patrick, kasi that is what's happening to our politicians right now. It's easy for them to get the money. I saw a barangay captain before, like years back. Kinuha niya yung wallet niya. Ang kapal ng cash niya sa loob ng wallet. Sabi ko, I was wondering, where did he get his money? I mean, a normal person, a normal person like me don't have that kind of cash in a wallet. Medyo hindi na masara yung wallet niya, puro cash eh. And then they have a lot of cash in their when they're going out, always cash. I was thinking, is it that easy to get money from the government? And as I observed, it might be easy. It might be really easy unless people will, be vigilant about their leaders. I'm not sure if you were able to experience that kasi nakita ko rin yung budgeting ng Pilipinas. Ngayon, they left blanks
Wow.
in billions of pesos. Yeah, they left blanks in a bicameral conference report to be filled up, and that is illegal. Not only illegal but immoral because that is the taxpayers' money. You need to have a committee to discuss what will be the amounts there. But after the committee report, there are a lot of senators and congressmen who signed for it, signed the committee report, leave without filling up those blanks. So that means after signing it, someone will fill it up. So parang ginawa nilang blank check. Ganun kadali. If hindi pa nahuli yon or hindi pa nakita yon, I'm not sure kung 'di ba kung saan tayo pupulutin or saan Pilipinas mahirapan na to
Yeah.
prevent this from happening.
Yeah, and I mean, bottom line is, I mean, I'm sure, of course, there are some people that go and say, well, someone has to stand up to this. And I guess that's the reason why we're talking about it then, because yeah, it has to be called out for sure. Uh, but like I see it from the perspective then also of, okay, you see that in bad leadership, then what are you gonna do? Are you just gonna sit and watch? Diba? Na parang, okay, so what can I do? Like,
Mhm.
at a micro level, what I did personally for me was, sige, like let's probably take like go back into like the private uh practice. And okay, if you're an employee, for example, like when I was starting in my career, I started to realize that that I got into companies where the direct supervisor I was working for, or the boss that I was working for, wasn't a very good leader either. So, uh, some of them I saw that they wouldn't take care of their people properly. They were overworking them. They were not also being accountable. They would pass the blame to other people, saying the reason why this project failed was because of this team, not because of me. And I thought to myself, I'm going to use this as fuel, so that one day I can also be a leader in my own sphere, and I can become the opposite of that. I can be a leader that takes accountability. Everything's always my fault. The buck stops with me. I try to empower my team. Like most, if not all of the decisions I make in my company is always, how does this make my team better? How will this make their lives better? And I use that as fuel basically for me, no. So like when you see, for example, like corrupt politicians, parang the question lang in my mind is, okay, so what are you gonna do about it? How can you, because there's definitely two ways to go about it. You can call them out and hope that power steps down. And I don't want to get into the mess of all of that, because that's a different topic, probably for a different day. But like at a personal level, what we can do, however, is say, okay, that's the current situation. How can I be a counter force in my own actions, in my own examples, in my own sphere of influence? Imagine what it would
Within
be
your
like.
control.
No? Exactly, kasi you don't have control over what these leaders are doing, but you have 100% control over what you are doing. And it's, to your point, yeah, trying to really climb up the ladder of strength and honor, not because you want power, but because you want to use your strength and honor to be a you know a channel of good to others, which is yung nga, going back to the video that Elon Musk showed. No, I mean, I don't know for sure what his intentions are, but it's pretty clear that many of the projects he's doing, it's really for the benefit of people. Then, I mean, he's creating
Yeah.
Tesla to provide renewable, a more clean form of transportation. He created Starlink to give every people connectivity. I mean, obviously, he is creating like companies and businesses that do make things better. And uh, well, the point that he said earlier was that he's doing it because he sees the reality of good. So I think that's a good example of. I mean, obviously, he's not a politician, although he is kind of like connected with Trump now. But uh, he did not just sit by and watch and say, well, it's either I call politicians out and I wait for them to step down, or I run for office. No, he said, I'm going to use my platform. I'm going to use my circle of influence to be a force of good where I can be. And I think that's something that you don't have to be Elon Musk to do that. Anyone can do that. Anyone can do that.
Yes,
I
I
really believe that.
yes, I agree, Patrick. Meron kang saying si Ralph Waldo Emerson, sabi niya, if you want to regret calamities, no, sabi niya, regret calamities if you can thereby help the sufferer. So if there's a uh, a corruption disaster in the country, no, if you want to regret it, no, you can only help if you can help the sufferer, which is the Filipino people. If not, sabi niya, attend to your own work and already the evil begins to be repaired. So going back to the things that are within the sphere of your control, no? Within your control, importante that uh, we make our we attend to our own work, no, which is within our control. For example, what we're doing right now, discussing about values that can help us and the Filipinos and those who are watching. And also going back to Elon Musk, what he's doing is he has the power, he has the influence, and he is using that influence to impact uh, the world, no, not only the citizens of the U.S. but the world. If you will look at the news, no, he has already sold a lot of his possessions. The mansions that he had before, binenta niya. Ang tinanong siya, bakit niya binibenta? Because it weighs you down. You cannot do a lot of work if you have a lot of possessions. And some of his friends are joking, like Mark Andreessen, na parang nakikitulog lang yan sa amin. No, sometimes matutulog lang yan sa sofa because he has a lot of rich friends. No, pag kailangan niyang uh, ng matutulugan or bahay, makikitira lang yan sa mga kaibigan niya. Although we know that he is wealthy, but you see that his focus is impact. His focus is not consumption. He's a great example, no? And we want that kind of character to be prevalent in society. Especially
Mm.
here, Filipinos should be able to emulate that kind of attitude, that character.
Yeah, I think many times kasi Dex, parang if you look at people
Mm.
who try to use their influence to, you know, to create for themselves wealth, no? I truly believe that not all of them are doing it because they're like at an evil level greedy. No, I mean, like,
Mm.
I'm sure that some of them are probably just doing it because, well, I mean, well, I have a family to feed, I have bills
Yeah.
to pay, alam mo yun. And I think the one thing I realized there is just how dangerous then the idolatry of security and comfort is. I mean, as a society, and especially in the Philippines, I see that there's just such a disproportionate glorification of securing your family, securing yourself,
Mm-hmm.
to the point na, okay, so what
Mm-hmm.
that means is I need to have millions of pesos in deals so that I
Mm.
can make sure na when I'm retired, then I have, you know, a lot to kind of like, rest on. And again, there's nothing wrong with security. I don't think
Yeah.
there's a problem. I want to be secure. That's why I invest in property. I invest in like funds and all of that, because I also want to secure my family. Like at even though my children are 12 and 5, they already have college funds because I want them to be secure. But I think the problem there happens is when we use our security, when we make the pursuit of our security more important than the security of other people. Parang it's kind of sobrang cliche and gasgas na, pero the golden rule of love your neighbor as yourself.
Mm-hmm.
It's really that simple. I mean, it's not rocket science. Do I see my security as important as the security of my neighbor? Do I see my success as the same when it comes to the success of my neighbor? And we live in a time where it seems like we are willing to pursue uh you know a win for ourselves, even if it means people around us have to lose. But yeah, I mean, I really believe in the growth mindset because that really tells us that we can all win together. So why don't we try to create like a community, a society where that's the goal, where everyone wins?
Yeah, I agree, Patrick. Kasi ang nangyari, the means justify the end.
Mm.
So, I want to be secure, whatever the cost is. So, kung ganun, pwede kang magnakaw ng mga resources na hindi para sa'yo para lang ma-secure mo ang sarili mo at pamilya mo. But if you will think about, yung nga, sabi mo nga, thinking about your neighbor, you will do your work with justice, with honor, with honesty. Just like you, no, investing in properties, securing the education of your children, uh, the health of your family. No, it's very important to have that goal, but at the same time, you need to be able to get that goal in a moral and honest way. But if you think about the goal and the ultimate goal in itself is just security, any means can be done. That's what's
Yeah,
happening right now.
right.
Ang nakikita natin. And again, the great for me, if you provide an impact, a positive impact to the society will give the value back. No? Hindi
Hmm.
ka maghihirap.
Yeah,
It's a
yeah,
scarcity mindset to always think na parang kailangan kong makuha ito, kailangan kong what do you call this, matapakan itong tao nito para I'll gain something. Or kailangan may mawala sa isang tao para ako maka-gain ng advantage. 'Di ba? Parang
yeah.
zero sum game.
Yes, exactly. Zero sum game, 100%. I was just talking to Ces no, yesterday, and I was like, why are Filipinos so prone to crab mentality?
Mhm.
Diba? Na, uy, grabe, ang successful niya. What do we do? Pinagchichismisan kasi ayaw
Oo.
natin na that person will get ahead because it means it's just one more spot taken from us. Alam mo yun, yung parang mentality na umasenso siya, so mawawalan ako
Scarcity
ng
mindset.
spot. Yes, exactly. Versus growth mindset where
Mhm.
we can all win together. We live in a time where technology enables all of us to win together.
The
Pero
pie
bakit?
is big, Patrick.
I know it is. It obviously, I mean, I truly believe that. I mean, promise, as in, like, I do not believe in the mindset na ang hirap yumaman sa Pilipinas. I just don't believe in that
Yeah.
mindset. Ang
Yeah.
daming pera, ang daming resources dito sa Pilipinas. Pero why is it that we always say na, well, nasa mayaman lang kasi yun eh. Yan ang ginagawa mo to get ahead. I mean, like, personally for me, when I saw that, I was like, well, if there are people who are ascending in society that are doing right, that aren't stepping on people's toes, I wanna associate myself with them. I wanna network with them. Kasi that just means that they know something that I don't know. They have access to to communities that I don't have. They have ideas that I don't have. And if I get a pie of that, alam mo sa totoo lang, one thing I realized, Dex, like majority of rich people are always willing to share. Kahit hindi ka, alam mo yun, parang You ask them advice, they're willing to share. You need a contact, a network, they're willing to share. Pero kasi yung mindset natin, kung mayaman yan, tapos ako, hindi ako ganong level, I have to, like, kailangan malalampas ko yun. I think it's probably because of the education system din, no? Kasi yung education system natin, honor roll eh. So kung first siya, hindi na ako pwedeng maging first. Bakit hindi na lang ganito? Yung education system natin, our goal is to have as many first honors as possible. Hindi siya ranking. Alam mo yun, parang lahat tayo, I think there's there's an excellence list. And
we have an obsession on rankings, Patrick.
I know, yeah, exactly.
'Di ba? So ganun yung nangyayari, parang status kasi yun eh. 'Di ba? It's a demonstration of status seeking and recognition. Kaya nga, it's not a zero-sum game because everyone has a role. And I believe that everyone is different. Hindi naman tayo pare-pareho. Kasi yung zero-sum game na nangyayari ngayon is if you assume that everyone is the same. But we all have roles to play in the society. Basurero ka, tagalinis ka ng kalye, bankero ka, entrepreneur, doctor, lawyer. We have different roles, men, women, politicians, staff ng politicians. We have different roles which have value. So, walang makukuhanan talaga ng space, no? The universe is infinite for me. And yun nga, sabi mo nga kanina about this strength and honor. It's really important for individuals to have the abundance mindset, no? Pinag-usapan natin kanina. The strength to resist temptations, the strength to resist na wag mong kukunin yung di dapat para sa'yo. And if you have, in connection with the abundance mindset, if you have that strength and if you have the abundance mindset, you won't have crab mentality. You will be happy with your neighbor being successful.
Yeah.
No? And then you will be happy also that your neighbor will be happy for you when you are successful also.
Yeah.
Gusto natin ng ganun, mas, 'di ba?
Yeah, I mean, well, bottom line is I think there are really two kinds of how do you want to call these people who are sabihin na lang tawagin nating hoarders, 'di ba? They hoard power.
Oy, marami akong kilalang ganyan.
'Di ba?
Hoarder. Again, we go back to sorry, Patrick.
Yeah.
Please continue with the thought. Hoarders are actually seeking false security. Anyway, going.
Yeah, I think that's there are two kinds of hoarders kasi hoarders that are like just green-eyed and may ganun siya, dapat may ganun din ako. That's number one. And the second one are yung sinasabi mong false security na I need to keep hoarding because I might run out. So
and tapos hindi ginagamit yung mga hino-hoard nila.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, I'm sure you probably seen like the videos na ng mga hoarders na kahit yung newspaper, yung old boxes, kahit yung construction materials na mo yun, yung dos por dos na, uy, naku, isang ano pa to, peraso pa to, wag nating itapon kasi baka magamit natin. So, yeah, sometimes even something as simple as that can be like a symptom of a like bigger problem because that person,
insecurity.
Yeah, it's exactly that. It's going back to this sense of security, false sense of security that we're trying to chase after. Versus, yeah, that's the reason why I believe so much in a growth mindset and that, I mean, okay, I have this, but my neighbor needs it more than me. I can easily give it to them because there's always going to be an opportunity for me to create for myself again. Diba?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Mm-mm.
So that's the reason why I think like the growth mind, like when people ask like how do you become more generous, how can you be more helpful, you have to have a growth mindset because it's impossible for you to be generous if you're always afraid na I can't give this because I might lose, I might never get another opportunity like that again. I can't share my contacts kasi baka hindi na ako makahanap ng ibang contact pa or baka kukunin sa akin to. I can't share my resources to those in need because paano naman ako, I also have needs of myself. All of those thinkings are really just born out of the scarcity mindset.
Lack.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
lack mindset.
you're glorifying the lack, and you're looking at the possibility that you won't have versus looking at the future with optimism and saying, no, 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 I was able to make it this time around. I'm sure I'm gonna find a way in the future.
I agree. It is the growth mindset is the abundance mindset. Now,
Mm.
if you have something to give, that means you have something. Now, if you have something to share, that means you are abundant. No, the feeling and vibration of abundance is with the giving. That's why there is a saying that it's better to give than to receive. Because when you receive and you don't give, that shows a vibration of lack. I want to share a video with
That, ito yung may snake pa dito. Diba? This collection na may ano. How are you able to make bantay, honestly, na hindi ka nananakawan? Alam mo, yung iba, nawawala na lang yung damit after a few years. Paano mo, anong system mo?
Dito lang.
Dito na.
Na si Odette, yan, the
Oo.
most trusted staff
Person, oo.
in the world.
My God, let's move here inside, oh. So, ang tingnan nyo naman, arranged pa. So, all the blacks.
Right.
Right, oh. Parang pare-pareho yung pagkaitim niya.
Yeah. Kung
At
minsan yung wife
pare-pareho
ko,
yung style, apat at lima.
Oh.
Parang matanong ko lang po, ano pong pinagkaiba nitong dalawa?
I don't know, yung wife ko kasi, bibili siya pare-pareho.
Okay, dalawa pong drawer, at wow, parehong-pareho itsura. Okay, so eto, ayan, may mga ganito naman, konti may white, konting design. Nasuot mo na lahat ito?
Yeah. Lahat na, well, meron din siguro dito ilan, mga 3, 4 na hindi pa nasuot. Pero lahat na nasuot ko.
And you've worn it once?
Once, twice.
Grabe ka, Rafi. O, eto pa. O, di ba sabi ko nga po, department store. O, eto naman, ang classic na Burberry. O, alam to ng mga followers at subscribers mo because popular ang kanyang print.
Tama.
O, di ba? This is the classic Burberry print.
Right.
Right?
Anyway,
Grabe.
what do you think?
I'm at a loss for words.
Have you seen that video before?
No.
Sabi ko when I saw that video, yes, we know Rafi Tulfo is rich. And he has served, kumita yan sa show niya yung isumbong yata kay Rafi Tulfo. But the point here is media is glorifying. The reason why we're having a hard time of correcting our values is the media is glorifying excessive consumption. Of course, Larry, Rafi Tulfo has the right to consume whatever he wants. No, but there are circumstances surrounding him. He is a public persona. He is a politician. He is a public servant. And a lot of Filipinos are not like him. No, he will invite envy, not admiration with what he is doing. And going back to Rafi Tulfo, no, we know Rafi Tulfo is rich, but the circumstances surrounding him, his persona, he's a public person, he is a politician and a senator. And if you will look also the surrounding circumstances of the country, a lot of people are poor. No, yung pag-display niya ng luxurious and extreme, consumption does not show anything that is valuable for the country.
Yeah.
And again, ulitin ko, the reason why the Filipinos, our country is having a difficult time to change the culture and values about consumerism, about success, is because the mainstream media is focusing on a person's possessions rather than a person's social impact.
I think at some point, public figures, not just public officials in general, need to be careful about the message they're sending across. Sometimes even subconsciously. Why is it that, people really take offense towards kahit religious figures that are living lavish lifestyles? I mean, I'm not saying that, religious people or religious figures, whether it's priests, pastors, clergymen, should be poor, but they have to be careful because parang in some way or another, it's you're telling people that this is the goal. Kailangan ganito yung buhay mo for you to become,
Yeah,
a person of success.
I agree. Yun nga ang nangyayari ngayon eh. I think we need to shift the the measure of success. We were talking about consumption and social impact. I think the primary one is social impact. No one remembers you what car you were driving before, or what how huge your house is. People will remember you with the impact that you have provided to the society.
Mm.
Example, you think Elon Musk, of course we know that he is the richest or one of the richest men in the world. But we will remember him because of Tesla, because of Starlink, because of SpaceX. We will
Ta-
remember for, 'di ba? We will remember President Duterte, for example, no? In my opinion, it's not because uh he has, well, pangit ng house niya, no? Hindi mo makita yung bahay niya, simple lang. But because he was able to provide peace and security, public order in the country by providing safe streets and his, for example, drug war. And going back again, it is actually your social impact that will be your legacy. Even
right.
if I don't believe in focusing on legacy, but what you can do as a person, not what you are consuming, is what will uh, make you valuable in the society. And I want to share this one, yung nakikita mo sa post, no?
Yeah.
For public officials, it is even illegal. Diba? Public officials and employees and their families shall lead modest lives appropriate to their positions and income. They shall not indulge in extravagant or ostentatious display of wealth in any form. No, may reminder mismo ang batas. No, na even if you are a wealthy person, no, before public office, don't don't be ostentatious with your wealth. Kasi people will just doubt you. And public service is about public trust.
Yeah. Yeah. 100%. I mean, I didn't even know that that was uh something that's asked of for public officials. I just thought that it was just gonna be an unwritten rule. So that's interesting to know. But yeah, I mean, like, bottom line is, I mean, we're kind of running short on time here. But like, for me, like, the overall thing that I really reflect upon today is your responsibility as a leader to think about your neighbor. Ganun lang talaga. I mean,
Basic, fundamental, and common sense.
oh, am I the actions you have or the actions you choose to take, are you, I mean, is there just something in the back of your mind that's asking, wait, sadali lang, baka hindi maganda to para sa akin, but how about the people around me? Sometimes something as simple like that, as that. Just considering your neighbor first can go a long way. And it's something that leaders should do. I think it's something that all of us should do. From all, levels of society. I don't want to say levels. I don't believe that there are levels really in society. But like everyone who
Mhm.
mayaman, mahirap, leader, follower, public servant, private sector, it's really just the importance of thinking about your neighbor when you make decisions and
Mhm.
or you act.
Yes, Patrick, I agree. And again, fundamentals. No, give more than you take. Social impact instead of just excessive consumption. The measure of success is really what you do with your neighbors, what you share, and what is your what difference would you make in the society? No, not really how much money do you have, or what cars do you drive, where are you living, what mansion you possess. No, eventually people will judge you. People will remember you with your impact to them, how you made them feel, how were you able to change their lives or become a good example to them. So I think yun nga, going back to honor, no, and strength, no, it's important for you to be able to uh, focus, of course, on your goals, but at the same time, you don't trample on other people's rights, trample on other people's uh, what do you call this? Not only rights, no, but their lives also. You don't disturb them. you don't unduly burden them. So it's a great thing to have this discussion, Patrick. No, we want to gradually change the culture and value system of our country. And as this first step podcast, our mission is really to make a valuable impact for our citizens. So thank you for sharing your thoughts,
Yep.
and let's look forward to our next discussion.
Yep. For sure.